Besides politics and religion, nothing brought more intense feelings to them than racing and the racehorse. Horse racing came about in order to test and improve equine quality. Through breeding, the thoroughbred horse evolved to meet the high demands of racing, tests of courage, strength, and stamina. The better the horse was able to meet the tests, the better it was equipped to serve man's realistic needs in everyday life and in battle. A racehorse in 19th century America needed bottom, and plenty of it. Today, races consist of single-digit furlongs, each furlong being about 660 feet. America's longest modern-day race, the Belmont Stakes, is 1.5 miles, or 12 furlongs. In the 19th century, horses ran heats consisting of 1, 2, 3, or 4 miles each. Per 19th century racing regulations, a horse had to win at least 2 heats to earn the purse. It was therefore unknowable at the race's outset how many heats a horse would actually end up running. In a race with 4-mile heats, the top tier of American 19th century racing, horses would run a minimum of 8 miles, and that was only if one horse won the first 2 heats. If, however, different horses won heats 1 and 2, a tie-breaking third heat would send them off for another 4 miles, a total of 12 miles run in a single race. This scenario could play out into additional heats until eventually the same horse had won 2 heats. 4-mile heats, therefore, required an animal of supreme strength and bottom to withstand the pounding of bone and the pulling and stretching of sinew and muscle for 8, 12, 16, or even 20 miles around an oval track at extreme rates of speed. Races of this distance were not uncommon. In that era, racehorses were trained differently, not to sprint, but to endure. Cooling periods separated the heats to allow some modicum of recovery. Depending on each racecourse's regulations and the duration of the heats involved, cooling periods could last anywhere from 15 minutes for a 1-mile heat race up to 45 minutes for a 4-mile heat. During these compacted minutes, a small fleet of horse grooms armed with arsenals of buckets, rags, scraping brushes, and whiskey swarmed upon each horse as if it were their only task in life. Dousing rags with the liquor, grooms washed away the grime of 4 miles before massaging the numbing liquid over the horse's aching body. After pulling and tucking wool blankets around their charge in a moisture-wicking papoose, they walked it in circles to loosen its muscles. All the while, grooms fought back the deluge of betting men and turf riders who had gathered around the heaving horse to hurl their weighted questions. How's he faring? Is he lame? Can he go again? Betting tables were, after all, still open for the next heat's speculations. Heats were tough on the jockeys, too. Steering a 1,200-pound animal at a full run for 8 or 12 miles required not only strength, but tremendous stamina. Jockeys, then as now, weighed less than average men, typically about 90 pounds. A minimally weighted man riding on an empty stomach during the heat of the day and regulating a powerful animal running at the top of its speed often failed to meet the challenge. Some riders fainted during the race. Others lost the strength to steer their mounts. Exhausted jockeys occasionally rode horses off course or collided with their competitors. These cooling periods were, therefore, equally important for the equine's counterparts. Back at the cooling circle, grooms pulled limp, ragdoll jockeys out of their saddles and propped them in straight-back chairs to regain their breath. Dragging over the water buckets and whiskey that had first been used for the horses, grooms worked to massage the life back into jockeys' spent arms and legs. If massage and liquor couldn't revive a man over the next 45 minutes, he was replaced, usually over hard-fought pleas and false assurances that he could go another 4. Generally, it took at least 2 jockeys to ride a single horse in a 4-mile heat race. Unusual was the man who could endure multiple heats. Those jockeys were...